Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, October 14th, 2025, wherever, whenever, and however you're watching. Thanks for making this part of your week. Time to get rolling on another show here. Of course, I'm Tim McClelland. This is John Flynn, and this is John Natale. How
Hello,
you guys
hello. Doing all right.
I'm doing great. I mean, I did wind up going to the Giants Eagles game on Thursday night.
and how sweet it was.
I mean, one thing I will say. So I got tickets. Like as soon as I finished recording Hooked on Sports on Thursday, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go to the game. It was like a last minute decision. So so
Ah,
yeah, so I got tickets for the upper deck, a quarter end zone with that, and then I see I have a buddy of mine from college that's also at the game, so I was gonna swing by to his section, which is on the left side of your screen, in the end zone, in the lower bowl. So like I snuck in and I wasn't checked for anything, so I got a great view of what I thought was the most impressive regular season victory by the Giants in quite some time.
oh, it was wonderful. Yeah, it's so happy to see those chickens lose. But also, my Cowboys lost as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't sting that much.
I
Hmm.
mean, and the Commanders lost too. So the Cowboys had a golden opportunity to be even, pull even in the loss column with Philly and Washington, but now they're two,
Yeah,
three, and one.
yeah. Of course, the Cowboys' biggest problem this past Sunday was a former teammate of theirs.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to get into everything that transpired in Week 6, but before we get into the first matchup we want to discuss, we want to first show you the difference in the game. So we had a matchup with Alex Putnam and Daniel Spiegel, aka Dino. So that be out that Alex had Bijan Robinson and Drake London back in his lineup after a Week 5 bye. And if you look at this play, the Falcons are up 21-7, 6 seconds left. You surely would try a field goal here, but the Falcons decided to be aggressive, maybe have a better field goal try. But if you see here, Drake London goes out of bounds at the 1 yard line of that matchup. So how important was that play in terms of that matchup? Well, let's take a look at the score, shall we? It was a
Yeah.
4.5 point loss for Alex against Dino, and so basically Dino, even though he won by 5 points, in reality Dino won and improved to 6-0. He won by a yard.
Won by a yard. Oh man, that was absolutely
Hmm.
unbelievable. Looks like either actually both those guys did get some pretty nice points. I mean, let's see here. Dino, of course, we mentioned Rico Dowdle, and oh my God, 33.9 fantasy points for Rico, combined with 32 points from Josh Jacobs, 20.62 from Jalen Hurts. Tucker Crafted already at 12.3. Single digits for pretty much everyone else. Oh, Rashad Wright with a 17.6. And let me see his bench players here. Matthew Golden left 13.2. Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. Ooh, 23 nice points just left on the table for him over there. Meanwhile,
But really, the big difference for Dino in winning, in addition to Drake London's touchdown being called short, was the performance by Rico Dowdle in the what turned out to be the Rico Dowdle revenge game. 30 carries, 183 yards rushing, 56 yards receiving, a receiving touchdown against his former team, and boy, that had to feel good for Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, it must have been. I mean, I congratulate the guy, but yeah, he really was. Well, it was a real problem. Besides, of course, the Cowboys' defense is well, the Cowboys have no defense, so that's the
Yeah,
main problem. But Alex did get 35.8 big points from my boy Bijan Robinson and Drake London, who you just saw come up 1 yard short of that touchdown. He got him 31.8 points. And Jalen Waddle got him 16.82. Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end for Cleveland, got him 15.1.
so Harold Fannin Jr. might turn out to be one of the steals of this year in fantasy, and also Putnam took Bijan Robinson over Jamar Chase, first overall on draft night, and performances like these justify why Putnam did that.
And not much activity on his bench here except Cooper Kupp with a 12.0 points left on the table for him. But so that's basically how that matchup went out. Dino again, undefeated, 6-0 in our league, while Putnam falls to 2-4. So where are we going next?
All right, well, it's David. How about David creaming the defending champion?
Oh my goodness, Natale.
Yeah. He was the highest scorer of the week.
With 158.84. Natale his boys could only muster 105.44.
Losing 2 wide receivers did not help.
Yeah, Egbuka got hurt, Marvin Harrison Jr. got hurt, but both of them would have had to put up like George Pickens numbers or Puka Nacua numbers.
Yeah, so it really wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I need some major wide receiver help.
Yeah, you have some major issues on your roster, man.
Yeah, I did make a waiver claim earlier, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I made a couple earlier this week.
Yeah. I was thinking about offering a tight end, but it doesn't appear anybody needs any tight end help now.
Yeah, but
well, 26 points from Dallas Goedert. I mean, that can't be wrong.
Yeah, but I'm considering dropping Hawkinson. I haven't decided yet, though.
Ooh, now that you mention it, I'm gonna see if I can try and dial up a trade with you because
No, I'm game. I didn't think you needed tight end help.
I know I don't need that because I have Tyler Moore, but I'm just a little concerned about my running back depth because let's see, because my backup running backs right now are Michael Carter and Kenneth Walker III, and I don't know if I feel confident in that, but then at the same time if I swing
Interesting.
but yeah, we can. I mean, we could.
And I'm willing to. I'd be willing to entertain a running back. I'm just not willing to entertain Genty. Genty's off the table, but
yeah.
But everybody else is in play.
Yeah.
Dobbins is available. Hall's available, and Montgomery's available. So all of them are available except for Genty.
Yes. So is Warren is available? It looks like. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but.
Well, offer me a decent receiver, and you might have yourself a deal.
Maybe we might pull a trade off by the end of the show. So stay tuned for that.
Really?
Anyway, did we go over the rest of his scoring, Tim?
Let's see here. Let's see what stood out. Drake made 27.24 points for David here. 32 from Devon Achan. 31.8 from George Pickens.
Yeah.
Telling you, but I mean, he may still get some targets. I mean, even though CD Lamb will be coming back very soon. In fact, I think they said he might be coming back as soon as this Sunday. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to rush it.
I mean, I'm trying to trade for Drake May in one of my other leagues. I mean, that's because I think Drake May is going to be a top 10 fantasy quarterback the rest of the season. Because if you look at the way he's playing, so some of the throws he made, if you watch the highlights, oh my goodness, they were. So some of the more incredible throws you've seen this year, and Drake May has that, and there's a reason why the Giants, Joe Shane, Brian Dable wanted to trade up and draft him because he is that special, and the Patriots have their franchise quarterback, and I mean if you're a fan of the Dolphins and Jets, knowing that your two other division rivals have legit franchise quarterbacks and the other two teams don't, good God, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. So let's see. On the tally side, he got big points from Dallas Goddard and from Baker Mayfield. Ashton Genty, he's looking darn good in his rookie year. Xavier Worthy, his targets may decrease slightly
Mm-hmm.
because Mr. Rice is back in the lineup after serving his 6-week suspension.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's the same thing too with Pickens. So the flex players in this matchup, so they may see a diminished role with their with their main stars coming back in Rasheed Rice and CeeDee Lamb.
yeah, looking at
Well, let's go with your matchup, Tim.
do we have to?
Yes, Tim. It's fantasy football fever. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. I have to, yeah.
Oh, look at
After,
that. Andrew came out of
after,
nowhere.
yeah,
Andrew went from worst to first.
yeah, after starting with a win, I've now logged 5 straight losses. He got me 123.26 to 119.34. Let's see his big scores. 23 points from Lad McConkey, 21.2 from Trey McBride. His quarterback, Bo Nix, got 13.36, and Derrick Henry got 14 even. The Broncos' defense and special teams got him 18 points. Meanwhile, Fred, I only got 1 point from Fred Warner. That's because he suffered that injury, which we'll be mentioning that here a little bit with our hot topics here.
Yeah, and had Fred Warner not gotten hurt, you would have won.
Exactly. Matthew Stafford totally underperformed for me last week, but DeAndre Swift did pretty well with 25.5. Cam Skattebo, I am glad I put him in my lineup. 31 even.
Yeah,
Jake Ferguson, 12-3.
Yeah, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground for Cam Skattebo, and
yeah, what a great duo. I mean, Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo, they are very good. So yeah, I left Dak on the bench once again. I thought he would be a little overwhelmed, but no, this number overwhelms me. 22.34 left on the table.
yeah. Yeah, and also one note about DeAndre Swift is that for Swift, it's only the second time in his last 36 games he has had over 100 yards rushing.
Wow.
So yeah, the only other time that he did so remember the Bears were in Washington. The only other 100+ yard games Swift has had in that stretch. So what was the Hail Mary game last year?
Hail Mary game.
Also in Washington.
Wow. Went back to the scene of the crime.
and they got revenge for and the thing is like Bears plus 4.5. I know Natale had it as an upset. I felt very comfortable grabbing the points there, but it's because I knew it was going to be that both teams were similar in terms of where they are in my tiers of the NFC, but So, but great job by the Bears last night, taking advantage of Commanders' mistakes and self implosions and getting a needed victory, and which could go a long way in shaping up the NFC wildcard race, because the Bears would have the tiebreaker over Washington if that were the case. So that could be that. So that could be a game that looms large at the end of the season.
Yeah. And you want to know the irony of this whole thing is, even though I'm 1-5 in our ESPN league, I'm actually 5-1 in my Yahoo league.
Oh wow!
So I gotta make some comparisons here and figure out what I can do to get my team to be successful on this league. So now we're taking a look at the matchup between Casey and Adam, and Casey got to a 129.68 to 118.3. Casey got some big points from Patrick Mahomes and JSN, who I believe is going to be one of the top receivers in the entire league.
Yep, he is number 2 in both standard scoring and PPR scoring, and he's coming off his best game of the season against the Jaguars on Sunday, because he already has 4 games of 100+ yards receiving. That so far he already has he already has 696 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. So already he's averaging 20 points a game. He's averaging 21.5 points per game, and he's just having a tremendous season.
Absolutely. So I got Mahomes, got Smith-Njigba. I remember I'll say Brown underwhelmed a little bit, 13.7. But I got 14 points from the kicker, Robert Fitzgerald.
And also, one more thing, look where Patrick Mahomes ranks among fantasy quarterbacks. Would you look at that?
Oh boy.
Number 1. So I mean, we spent so much time during the offseason downgrading Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, it only took the end of that of the Super Bowl where Mahomes threw that beautiful deep ball to actually realize, hey, you can go down the field some more, and Mahomes has been superb. 12 touchdowns, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 4 rushing touchdowns to go as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing all right here. Adam got a 15.4 from Josh Allen, 23.7 for Jonathan Taylor. Down the line, 13.8 from Travis Kelce, 12.6 from Alvin Kamara, and Nate Landman, the linebacker for the Rams, got 17.
I think Nate Landman had the most tackles of anybody in the NFL last week. Yeah, and I know there has to be some research on that. I mean, he was Tom Brady's LFG player of the game. So he had 14 tackles the week before against the 49ers, and Nate Landman's 17 total tackles is the thing about that was it set a Rams franchise record for a single game.
Wow, very nice. So,
but unfortunately, it was not enough to take down Casey.
Right, not quite enough here. And now we're taking a look at Lucas going up against Flynn, and Flynn took that matchup 126.5 to 101.54. So, well, look at those nice numbers on your end there, Flynn.
I mean, I had to put in Jaxson Dart instead of Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson did not practice Wednesday, Thursday, so I had to make the decision to put Dart in, and he outperformed his projection by 10 points. So I think that was the big reason why I felt pretty good going into that week, and then and then you have Tyler Warren doing well. The Seahawks defense making some plays. Now,
Hmm.
I am Logan Wilson did get benched earlier in the second half of the Bengals game. So yeah, so I dropped him, and I have to make a replacement on that. And then Tyler Loop only had one field goal attempt. So yeah, so I have to make a couple of roster moves ahead of my matchup with I believe with you this week. So and also in terms of Lucas, I was a little nervous going into Sunday night because he still had 5 different players set to go, but none of them really performed to expectations. So
Yeah, so despite the fact that he got 22.64 from Jaden Daniels and 16.3 from Zach Ertz and 17.9 from Teddy McMillan, had a nice game with him.
it's his first 2 NFL receiving touchdowns coming up, and McMillan has separated himself to be the WR1 of the Carolina Panthers. So and McMillan's actually got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the way. So I think McMillan is definitely someone you want to consider trading for because I know in the same trade I had I'm also trying to trade for him in my other league. So
Yeah. The bench players. Oh my goodness. Lucas, he left a total of 73.26 to only your 18.9. Including some big points from Jameson Williams. He had a pretty good game. And so did Justin Herbert and DK Metcalf. I mean, I'm kind of surprised DK Metcalf is still getting in there. I thought his better days were done when he left Seattle, but I digress. So I guess that's basically our
Mhm.
matchups from last week. So
There's definitely some wide receivers I'm eyeing on Flynn's team. Should we pull off a trade here?
yeah, and
yeah,
we'll,
careful, y'all.
we'll, we'll
They said there might be a trade sometime, maybe during this show. Who knows?
yes. So stay tuned. Maybe, but for the time being, we're gonna start look at my matchups ahead of this week.
Right. All right. So I got CD Lamb. Did I did hear that he could be coming back as soon as this coming Sunday. Uh,
Oh my
there
God,
might be a
really?
possibility here. Uh,
So I have to face CeeDee Lamb and Rasheed Rice after nobody else had to. I mean, come on.
I guess it's just the way the schedule works. He's already served his 6 week suspension. He's coming back into the Chiefs lineup.
Hey, Tim,
CD
you're the one who
Lamb's
traded
gonna
for
be
him.
coming back.
You were the one who
Yeah.
traded for him. You and Dino pulled off a trade earlier.
Oh yeah. I traded receiver. I got receiver Rice. He got Bucky Irving. So
And now Bucky Irving is hurt.
yeah.
But but
Fred
but,
Warner.
but
I've already put in a um uh, a trade waiver. I think if I'm not mistaken, let me look at my let me look at my total. Who did I try to get? I'm dropping Fred Warner. He's out for the season. Trying to get Bobby Wagner from the Commanders.
Hmm.
So
yeah, I put in a claim for defensive player as well, but I don't think it's him. Yeah, it's not Bobby Wagner.
okay.
So I'm good. But yeah, but I do have 2 positions I need to fill. Defensive player, because I dropped Logan Wilson, and I need a kicker because Tyler Loop is off this week.
Right. So I'll just look at my lineup changes tomorrow and make the appropriate adjustments and see if I can get another victory.
Yeah.
So let's take a look. Who are we taking a look at now?
All right, let's look at Natale's matchup against Andrew. Between two
Alrighty
teams that
then.
are 3-3.
2, 3-3 teams. Close projected total right now. So Marvin Harrison Jr. He's questionable in the game. Arizona and Green Bay. That's going to be kind of an interesting matchup. So So yeah, looks like Natale's got the slight advantage right there.
Yeah, despite my mess.
That's all right. So he doesn't really have much to worry about there as far as injuries and if anyone's going to be practicing. All right, Marvin Harrison Jr. think think he might be all right. So that's how that matchup looks right now.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see the practice reports that come out with the Arizona Cardinals coming out in the next few days.
Right.
All right, so David and Adam, I say both teams really need a win here.
Right now, Adam has the advantage right now, 139.9 to 128.5.
Yeah.
Looks like there's no red marks on any of their rosters.
Yeah, David's gonna have to pull in a tight end. Yeah, David's got a conundrum because his backup tight end is on a bye too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have to go fishing. He's got Joe Burrow out on the IR. Don't know if Burrow is gonna be coming back anytime soon.
No.
No.
Yeah, he's doing perfectly fine with Drake May. The way it's looking.
Yeah. I said Drake May was well. I don't know if he said I said he was gonna be one of the breakout stars of fantasy this year.
And so far, he's been so far.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got what looks like another favorable matchup against the Tennessee Titans coming up on Sunday. And we'll talk about the Patriots Titans storylines in a little bit, but
Right.
So then let's look at Lee, Casey, and Alex. Both of them are trying to separate themselves from the pack.
Right now, Alex has the slight advantage in this matchup. There's no red marks on their starting positions. Alex got some questionable players on his bench. Kyler Murray against Green Bay, Mike Evans against Detroit, Brock Bowers against KC. I don't know if I'd want to move any one of those guys up to the starting roster. So
Yeah.
look like kind of slightly tough matchups right there. But that's just me. So
Yeah. And then this is going to be the matchup that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. It's the one between Dino and Lucas. Because they're current two of the top teams in our league, and they're going head to head.
yeah, Dino's still looking to stay perfect in this season.
There's only 3 people left that can stop him now. Lucas is one of them.
Yeah,
There's 3 people he hasn't lost to yet. Lucas, me. I'm not sure who the other person is. I don't recall. I want to say it's Andrew, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't know who the other person is who hasn't played him yet.
yeah. I'm one. Dino's one of my 2 losses. The other is Putnam.
Yeah. Now I'm guessing Tim is the other person who hasn't played Dino yet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, let's take a look at his schedule while we're at it.
I know he played Adam already. That I know. So it's the other person. It's either Tim or David.
It's Tim. So Lucas, Tim, and then you don't play him again till week 11. So
yeah. So I'm the last person.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting to see if old Dino can
If he could beat every single person and run the table.
hold on to that here. So so that's how our matchups are going to be this coming week, week 7 of fantasy action. But so we got some very interesting and hot topics to deal with. And of course, the first and main hot topic is it was yesterday when the NFL had its very first head coach firing this season. And that, of course, would be Brian Callahan. He is out as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. While he was there, he had a record of 4-19. And they decided to name their senior offensive assistant Mike McCoy as their interim head coach. But I guess for now, Brian Callahan, you've been thrown out.
Oh,
What?
we haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so moving forward from Titans, like I said, they get Mike McCoy as the interim head coach. So moving forward, what do you see?
I mean, it's just that ill-fated trade for of AJ Brown had more ramifications for the worse for the Titans than anyone could have imagined.
Yeah, as I said, his time was not too long in Tennessee with only a 14-9 record. I don't really know much about his coaching or assistant coaching before he got to Nashville. So
Brian Callahan was the assistant, was the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow for a few years before he became Titans coach.
Oh, okay. So let's see over there. Oh, we have some guys that want to say hello. Our friend Daniel Berry. Happy Tuesday. And then we got a Frizzle. I guess that's what he call it. Hey fellas, how's it going? And he says, who's your favorite Bucs wide receiver going into this week?
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect segue to some of the big stories we'll be looking at this week because Emeka Egbuka left Sunday's game against the 49ers due to an injury, unfortunately. So that means we'll be looking at a Bucs offense that's going to go without Mike Evans, without Chris, maybe without Chris Godwin, maybe without probably without Emeka Egbuka as well, who was on the fast track to be the offensive rookie of the year prior to him getting hurt. So you're gonna want to see this, guys, because this is actually pretty how yikes it is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So no Evans, no Egbuka. Think about it. There are 3 starting wide receivers and their starting running back are all out.
Oof.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm probably looking at Sterling Shepard to get a bulk of the work here.
Sterling Shepard, formerly of the New York Giants, have Ryan Miller.
Yeah, and probably Kate Otten will be involved a lot.
Although one thing we'll say, Tez Johnson and Cameron Johnson both caught touchdowns from Baker Mayfield. So I think you're looking at Tez Johnson to be in as the top receiver for maybe, and then Cameron Johnson as well. But in terms of who they have in the practice squad, they have Dennis Houston and Garrett Green from the practice squad. So you have to think that they're going to elevate one of them to the active roster ahead of their matchup on Monday night against the Lions.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting conundrum for the Buccaneers going into this week. Speaking of practice squads, you might have to call up everyone on the 49ers practice squad to get into the games because, I mean, these injuries are piling up and just this past week, their star linebacker Fred Warner broke his right ankle, and he will be requiring season-ending surgery. I mean, I mean, these 49ers just keeps getting plowed over and plowed over and plowed over with all these injuries. My goodness. It's
Yeah,
just
yes, I mean, I know. And Fred Warner, if Fred Warner is only the best off-ball linebacker in football, and Fred Warner is basically the heart and soul of that defense, and for him now to be out, that looks devastating to me.
yeah. I mean, it was bad. It was bad enough that Nick Bosa got knocked
Yeah,
out now for
and
Fred
then not
Warner.
to mention, yeah. And then not to mention, you still have Ricky Pearsall that's hurt. Brock Purdy is hurt. So
Yeah, like I said, they may just have to call up a bunch of guys from the practice squad, try to get them plugged into the system there. So that is just absolutely crazy here. So got this. Well, I saw this. I heard this one report earlier this morning on my local sports radio station that the Baltimore Ravens released their safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson just 1 week after they signed him. I think they just put him on the practice squad when they got him. So, but the
yeah.
Ravens, they are a team that was once a dominant force, but now it seems like they're having their struggles too. I mean, especially this past week. Oh my goodness.
I mean, they were the team I picked preseason to win the Super Bowl, and now that Lamar Jackson isn't hurt, it goes back to how 2021 and 2022 ended. They're basically a non-competitive team without him.
Yeah, so I mean, just I don't know how much longer it's going to be until Lamar Jackson can get back into on the lineup. Because I mean, right now Cooper Rush just ain't quite cutting it this time. So, so what other news do we have here?
It's we also want to talk about Puka Nacua because like Nacua is still the number one wide receiver in fantasy, but he might not be able to go for the Rams London clash against Jacksonville due to injuries. So we need to look at which Rams receivers can step up for him.
What receivers could step up for him?
I
Well,
mean,
let's see if we can take a look here.
I mean, you obviously have Devontae Adams. So I think Devontae
Mhm.
Adams is going to get his lion's share of the targets on Sunday, against Jacksonville. But maybe looking at Jordan Whittington, Tyler Higbee might play a bigger role in the passing attack. So
Cool, yeah. Devontae Adams, Jordan Whittington, Xavier Smith. Oh, what's up? This I don't like this. I don't like when I look up something and it says deactivate your ad blocker. I mean,
yeah.
that is really, really annoying. I was just going to take a look at the current wide receiver depth chart for the Rams. And let's see, Adams, Whittington, there's Tutu Atwell, Xavier Smith, and looks like a 7th round pick, Konata Mumfield. So,
Yeah.
so it looks like,
Yes. So
but
I think
I agree that Adams will probably get the majority of the targets this coming game, and maybe the next one in case Nakua still has to sit out. But Nakua's been having a great season so far before he got hurt, so hopefully it won't be too much
yep.
longer. So I'm just looking at So
Yeah,
so
and then we also wanted a couple of other topics that I put in the description. So is that the potential of hope with Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo with the Giants, with them coming off their strong performances against the Eagles, that basically on Friday they were the talk the talk of the sports world, those two rookies.
oh yes. I'm very impressed with Jaxson Dart. Very impressed with Skattebo, and of course our man Flynn saw it firsthand. So so now looking at let me look at the let's look at the schedule for the next few games here.
Yeah, I know the schedule offhand as a Giants fan. So
Right.
so this week they're on the road in Denver. I think it's going to be a very tough matchup. Obviously having to go on the road and having and this is the first time Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo are going to have to learn dealing with prosperity, based upon that dominant win against Philadelphia on Thursday night, and then they have the Eagles again in 2 weeks, and then they have the 49ers who are ravaged with injuries. And then you have the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, and the Patriots before your Week 14 bye week. So it's a long ways to go to get there. So we'll see how many wins the Giants can stack up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Because then after the bye week, they are at home against the Commanders, at home against the Vikings, and they're on the road to the Raiders. Then they finish at home against my Cowboys.
Yeah. Although one thing I will say, that is a very very favorable schedule for Cam Skattebo with fantasy. For fantasy playoffs, I will say that.
Yeah, that looks pretty. Does look pretty darn good for him, and we'll say that. So let's just see what happens there. So let's see here. So we
Yeah,
talked about
then we also have to and then we have to talk about the about the mess with the Eagles, because the Eagles are far and away are not even close to the team that they resembled last year.
right.
You lost Kellen Moore, who is now the head coach of the Saints. Moore's getting his Saints teams to be competitive, and then Kevin Patullo. The thing about that game is that after the first two plays of that game where Saquon Barkley runs for first downs for a combined 31 yards. After that, he had just 10 carries for 27 yards the rest of the game.
Wow.
So I think with you looking at the Eagles, you have to get Saquon Barkley involved, because you rode him to a champion most of the way to a championship last year. It's the problem with that Jalen Hurts hasn't been as good as he was last year. He missed a wide open Devontae Smith in the first possession of the second half. AJ Brown is getting frustrated with the play calling, and it's just a mess. And then defensively, they're not even close to being a good defensive team without Jalen Carter, and they lost Quinyon Mitchell to a hamstring injury, so he might be out for a couple of weeks. So there are real issues on both sides of the ball, guys, when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I really don't know what's happened to those guys. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I was thinking, yeah, maybe they can do what hasn't been done in over 20 years and repeat as NFC East champions, and
Right.
maybe even make a deep run and maybe head back to the Super Bowl. But
And the thing is, I still think they're the team beating the division, but in terms of the era of invincibility, that for the moment that's gone. Because
yeah,
they got their butts kicked on the road by a rookie quarterback.
by a rookie quarterback. So, yep. So we'll just have to keep an eye on those Eagles here as the season goes on, see if they can get back to top of the division. Oh, one thing I want to bring up after Sunday night's game, it was the end of the game, and Juju Smith-Schuster extends a hand to Brian Branch of the Lions, and Branch just slapped him. So, and for that, the NFL has suspended Brian Branch 1 game for that little slap here. Slap singing around the world because it was on Sunday Night Football. So,
He somehow made Will Smith look sane.
Yes.
I like that reference right there.
I can't believe people are still talking about that slap at the Oscars.
Yeah, people are still talking about it. So, but
wouldn't we all agree that we have one thing left to say for Brian Branch before we continue on? Do you want me to play it?
I don't know which one you're thinking of. Go ahead.
I award you no points,
Go ahead.
and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, that was the one I figured you were gonna do.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So,
I mean, what a loser that. I mean, the Lions' identity is supposed to be that we're going to out physical you, we're going to out muscle you. So, but the bullies got bullied on Sunday night, by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and look at Patrick Mahomes, and I think if you look at the Chiefs, if based upon the eye test, I think they're the best team. Even though they're technically in third place, to me, they're the best team in the division. So Mahomes is finally playing back to his 2021-2022 level. So that the defense has gotten better and better as seasons gone along, a far away from letting Justin Herbert slice your defense, and then you have the. Then you pounce the Lions, and now the schedule opens up a little bit. They have, they have the Raiders. I think they have Washington the week after that. So yeah, definitely in position to go on a run and charge for the top of the leaderboard in the AFC.
yeah, that could be a strong possibility. I mean, it looks like the Chiefs are kind of working their way back to the top of the division, maybe the top of conference. I mean, yeah, you still got that pretty good defense in Denver, and you still got a pretty good offense with the Chargers.
Although I will run down the next 6 games for the Chiefs, so this will get them to the end of November. So that they're home against the Raiders, so versus Washington on a Monday night. Then a showdown with Josh Allen in Buffalo, who, by the way, lost again. Then at Denver, home against the Colts. It's currently a 1:00 game, but I would not be surprised if it gets flexed into 4:25 on that Sunday.
Yeah.
And the Colts. Remember, the Colts are 5-1. They have the best record in the AFC. And then that 6-game stretch will be capped off on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys.
Yeah. It's going to be probably one of the most intriguing Thanksgiving games that the Cowboys have seen in quite some time. So we'll just have to see what happens between now and then. But actually, right now, it's time to get your brains working, people. It's trivia time.
Oh yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of us have a question this week.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's start with our commissioner down here. I wonder what question he has for us.
Sure. I just made a last minute change to my trivia question. It's still the same similar theme. I mean, as you guys saw in the Chiefs and Lions game, The Chiefs finished the game with 0 penalties. So obviously 0 penalty yards. So yeah, my question is going to be kind of like the opposite of that. It's going to be kind of flipped around. My original question was going to be, which NFL team holds the record for the most penalties in a single game? But I felt like you guys might potentially know that. So I changed it up just a slight tweak. Which team holds the record for most penalty yards in a single game?
Ooh,
So I made a slight tweak.
Ooh, a slight tweak.
I feel like it's happened recently, but the rest of the stuff I don't know. So
Yeah, so my first question is going to be, which NFL team holds the record for the most penalty yards in a single game?
Most penalty yards in a single game.
Yeah.
Nice question.
Yeah.
Very thought-provoking. Flynn, you said
yes, yeah. I have a trivia question, and I have it as one of my banners. So Bijan Robinson, 822 yards from scrimmage through 5 games. So who are the only 2 players since 1970 with more to start the season? And I'll give you and one thing to note: one of these 2 players did it twice, more than 822 yards from scrimmage through 5 games. So only 2 players have done that through 5 games in a season. A team's first 5 games.
team's first 5 games since the 1970 merger.
Yep.
Ooh, 820 yards through 5 games. Only 2 players have done it more. I may have one in mind.
Yeah, I think I have one too. I feel like one is a current player and one is a past player. That's kind of my leniency right now.
That's what I'm
thinking. Because since one put in that clue since 1970, so at least one of the answers has to be a retired player.
I would think so. So we'll think about that. Now we go to my question. So the Cowboys gave up a lot of yards on the offense. In fact, they've given up a lot of yards. That defense has given up a lot of yards so far this year. So my question is, what team holds the record for the most all-purpose yards allowed in one season? That's rushing and receiving yards combined.
Right. So are we talking about cumulative or average? So
we're talking about total yards.
Okay,
total yards rushing total yards rushing and receiving allowed in one season.
All right, I needed to clarify that for the questioning. So
all right, so we will have the answers to those questions after we get done picking this week's teams, and in case our good friend Dashy may be watching this, I will not forget we have 2 teams on the bye week. We have the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of you people out there are fans of either the Bills or the Ravens, we'll talk about y'all next week.
Yeah. I mean, so players we're thinking of: Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, James Cook,
right?
Or Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson. So we won't see those guys again in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So they'll be able to relax and recover, and yeah. So we start, of course, as always, with the Thursday night matchup. Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Cincinnati to take on the banged up Bengals. Pittsburgh is coming in this game as 5.5-point favorites. Pittsburgh's looking good. The Bengals still with no Burrow. I'll just make this simple. I've already locked up the Steelers earlier this year. But I think they'll more than cover the spread here. I'm going to take the Steelers to win and cover. Give me the score. I'm gonna say 30 to 20. I'll take the Steelers over the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals are still pretty much garbage without Joe Burrow. Yeah, their defense looks very bad too. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers to win this one pretty easily, 28 to 20.
I was considering grabbing the points with Cincy because the thing usually is if it's a divisional game and the spread is pretty good, you feel comfortable grabbing the points with the underdog. But you know who else is on the who else is on the injury report this week?
Hmm.
Trey Hendrickson, and that's a problem as well. So I was thinking of picking Cincinnati, but with the points, but now they have nobody on defense. So I think the Steelers are, and then this is a classic Mike Tomlin trap game situation. But I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to let that happen. Give me the Steelers to win and to cover. They win 23-16 over the Bengals.
Okay, so all of us are unanimous with that game. Going to the Sunday games. First of all, the Wembley Stadium game, London, England. It's the Los Angeles Rams against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a neutral site. It's Wembley Stadium, and the Rams come in at 3-point favorites. As we said, Nacua may or may not be able to participate in this contest here. Jaguars are doing all right here. I'm just going to take, well, my buddy would say if you can't pick a winner, go for the home team, but there is no home team here except, well, actually, Jacksonville, I think, has played more games in England than any other team in the league, so they're like a de facto home team, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's just that way for scheduling purposes, basically.
But also considering that Shah Khan, the owner, has financial ties to England. Because he owns Fulham FC of the English Premier League in soccer. So he has financial ties to England.
So it's gonna be pretty interesting to say. I'm kind of leaning toward the Rams to take this one, and I'll think about give them a couple of maybe by a couple of field goals maybe. So let's say this. Let's get 27 to 21. 27-21. Give me the Rams over the Jags.
Yeah, this one I think could really be a true toss-up should Puka Nacua not play. But the Jaguars actually are looking a lot better now. They're back to their old selves. What's his name? Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is slowly getting it together. And Travis Etienne is slowly getting it together too. Their defense has actually been fairly decent in the past few weeks. But I think still, even if Puka Nacua doesn't play, I think the Rams should be able to win this one. I mean, I would definitely entertain taking the Jags with the points if Nacua doesn't play. But either way, based on what I'm seeing right now, I'm going to take the Rams to win and cover 28-24.
Yeah, we're sharing the same brain on this, guys. I'm taking the Rams to win. I'm taking the Rams. I'm gonna take them to cover. Major coaching advantage to this game, and a major quarterback advantage to this game. So I'm gonna pick the Rams to win. Although Nacua does a lot of more things other than catch the football. So I think that's a problem. I think for the Rams in this scope of things, but So, but the Jaguars' offense was sent back down to earth by Seattle. I think the Rams are going to be ready for this game. And I think the way they played defensively against Baltimore, yes, Lamar Jackson wasn't there, but them being able to stop that fourth and goal on Derrick Henry, I thought was the big moment of that game. So you have to give credit where credit is due for that. I think so. I'm thinking a big game for Devontae Adams against the Jaguars, who ranked 26th in opposing fantasy points allowed to receivers. I think Tutu Atwell is going to have a good game. So I think all things considered, I'm taking the Rams to win this game 20-14.
All right. So we're all taking the Rams in that one. And our next game, Bears at home against the Saints. Bears are 5.5-point favorites. And Caleb Williams, I'm very impressed every time I see the highlights from this guy. I mean, he's very impressive, and people are still thinking maybe, excuse me, maybe he can do what no other Bears quarterback has done before and throw for 4,000 yards in a season. If everything holds up right, he may just do that. And a good start will be against this New Orleans team, which yeah, they had their win against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, but I still really don't think that the Saints really have an identity right now. So I'm gonna say so the Bears are 5.5. Yes, I'm taking the Bears to win and cover this one. I'm gonna say, let's see here, 21, 30. We're gonna call it 30 to 23. 30-23. Give me the Bears over the Saints.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement here. The Saints are a hot mess right now. I mean, they don't really have anybody like worth mentioning right now, except for maybe Olave and maybe Kamara to a lesser degree. I mean, the Bears are definitely looking pretty good. I see them easily winning this one, 24-16.
I mean, I'm sorry, you guys haven't been paying attention to the last few weeks. I'm going to grab the points with the New Orleans Saints here. I think this is going to be a competitive game.
Mm.
So I sound that the coaching from the Saints is a massive upgrade from this year to last year. Although Dennis Allen will be facing the Saints as defensive coordinator for the first time since the Saints canned him at the midway point of last year, but if you really look at this game, the Saints have matchups that you could use at your disposal because the Bears' defensive ranks in fantasy, so they're 27th against running backs, 25th against wide receivers, 28th against quarterbacks. So like it could Spencer Rattler possibly be someone you entertain with in your lineup, especially if you have Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen on your team and you can't play them because of bias this week. That could be a really interesting consideration. And I think the Saints are at their best when they force mistakes, because if you look at the Giants game, they forced 5 turnovers and 1. But the weakness for the Chicago Bears is the lack of consistency from Caleb Williams. Williams made some good throws, but he can make some bad decisions as well. So I think the Saints are going to be in this game. And I'm going to take them 5.5 point with the 5.5. But the Bears will wind up winning at the end, 21-18.
Ah, so interesting there. Interesting right there. Okay. Next game we're going to I think yeah. I think I'm going with Hang on, let's hear.
Mm.
Yes, it is the Cleveland Browns are at home this week against the Miami Dolphins, and the Cleveland Browns are 3-point favorites at home. Both of these teams are, well, they're both a hot mess. And what really gets me is that it is almost Tuesday night. It is almost 11 p.m. my time, and Mike McDaniel still has a job,
Oh.
much less the GM Chris Greer. That kind of boggles my mind a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But for some strange reason, I've got a feeling that the Dolphins could pull out a victory here. Don't know if it's going to be enough to maybe save the jobs of Greer and McDaniel. But I got a feeling this week that the Dolphins will do something. Uh, um, now, it's only 3 points, but I actually, call me crazy, but I actually may see the Dolphins winning this one 24-20. So I'm going to kind of take the Dolphins on the road.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely tempted to do that, but with I mean, both teams are a hot mess right now. But man, the one thing that's saving the Browns for me for picking them is that rookie guy, Quishon. What's his name?
Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, if he wasn't on the roster, I would probably be tempted to take the Dolphins here. But since he right now he has a somewhat of a bright spot. Nobody else on the Dolphins seems to be doing anything right. This was my runner up for the garbage game of the week. Not just came up a bit short, but I see this one still being a super low score. I'm going to take the Browns to win this one by a very obscure score of 19-15.
Oh, that would be quite obscure as well. I mean, look,
Yes.
I'm not gonna play the garbage game of the week animation for mine because Tim already did with his, but I'm picking the Cleveland Browns to win this game. I mean, it's crazy to say that, but if you have your doubts in a game like this, pick the team with the better head coach and the better defense. And I think and that belongs to the Browns. Quinshon Judkins has a fantastic matchup against the Dolphins' woeful run defense, so be sure he is in your lineup. It's a Howell Fannin Jr. Should also be in your lineup along, especially if David Njoku won't be able to go with that knee injury. So give me the Browns to win and cover here. I have them winning by a score of 20-13.
Mm.
Kind of a moderately low scoring game right there. So now we go to Kansas City with a classic old school AFL matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. KC is picked by 11.5. I think the odds makers, the point spreaders, are kind of just a bit too generous for the Chiefs on this one. I'm actually thinking that this game might be a bit closer than what the spread is right here. I think Ashton Genty could have a pretty good matchup against the sometimes shaky Chiefs defense there. In fact, I am going to take the Chiefs to win, but I'm grabbing the points for the Raiders. In fact, my final score is going to be 31-24. Chiefs with the win, Raiders with the points.
Yeah, I'm doing the same exact thing because I do remember. I believe last season the Raiders did beat the Chiefs in one of their games, if I recall correctly.
Mhm. No, I think that was the game where that was the game where they had that Black Friday debacle in terms of the bot clock management.
Ah, well, yeah, I do think the Raiders are capable of actually keeping this close. But yeah, I mean they have that promising rookie. Jacoby Myers has been fairly decent. They're not as bad as people think they are. I think it's. I'm going to grab the points too here. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this one, 26-20.
Yeah, I thought this was the second toughest game of the week for me to pick with the points. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Kansas City is going to win based upon Reed, Mahomes, the championship DNA. So, but I do think the Raiders are going to are going to keep this close. That's because I think it's going to take a little bit for Rashee Rice to get acclimated into game action. His first action since coming off the suspension coming up on Sunday. I think in terms of a fantasy perspective, I do think Ashton Genty has a decent matchup for himself against the Chiefs, but yeah, I want to make sure Genty's still in your lineup because he's still going to get the majority of the touches here. But I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win 26-16.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we go to Minnesota. The Vikings are at home against the Eagles, and the Eagles are picked in this one by 2.5. This one's a little. I'm thinking this one could go either way if and only if the Eagles were at full strength, or as if they were playing like they were at full strength. But with the problems that the Eagles had, I think the Vikings will take advantage of this. But I believe by half a point, the Eagles will make the cover. I mean they'll cover the spread here, not by much, but I'm giving it the victory to the Vikings over the Eagles 28-26. We'll be close.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way here. Yeah, the Vikings are kind of a mess now. T.J. Hawkinson isn't doing good now. He had a good first couple of games, but since then he's just came back to earth. And Jordan Addison, he's slowly getting back into action. And should J.J. McCarthy play, it's going to take time for him to get into the swing of things. I mean, the Eagles are a bit of a mess, but right now the Vikings look worse. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win this one, but it's still going to be close. I'm going to go 30-26.
I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings to win this game outright. Because I think you mentioned the problems with the Eagles that Quinyon Mitchell not being out and then having to deal having to throw out Keely Ringo and Dory Jackson as a CB2 and knowing who they have to guard, whether it's with Jordan Addison. Cooper DeJean is going to be responsible for covering Justin Jefferson. But this screams 100 yards and a touchdown minimum for Jordan Addison. It does matter who it is. The Vikings are at home, but they're in their first U.S. game in a month. They're coming off their bye week. So they're coming off a good comeback win against the Browns in London 2 weeks ago. And look, Jalen Hurts has some bad matchups against Brian Flores' defense. If he has trouble throwing the forward pass against that defense, then it's going to be a problem for them. Now, I do think the Eagles really need to lean on Saquon Barkley in this game because the Vikings defense can allow some is not as good against the run as it is against the pass. So so I think that's why it's going to be a competitive game. But give me the Vikings to win 28-25.
Okay. Alrighty then. I have a message here from our good friend Dashy. Sup, Tiny Tim? You did win week 6 last week at my pickup tournament. I will have to go back and look at that probably first thing in the morning before I go to work. But thank you for the good news. Congratulations to myself for the pick'em tournament that Ashley has over on YouTube. So anyway, we're going to the next game. All right, Natalie, I'm kind of leaning as you were thinking that this next game was your pick.
You'd be correct. Yeah, this was a close one, but I ended up picking this one. I mean, the Jets are still winless. They somehow played surprisingly well against Denver. Don't know what they did, but they came nearly close. I mean, the Panthers are pretty bad too. So this game was actually super tough for me to decide. And in my view, I think this is the last chance for the Jets to get things right. Or they could very well be the first 0-17 team in NFL history. If the Jets can play this well against the Broncos, I think they're very capable of doing it against the Panthers. So with that being said, this is the week I think the Jets finally get it right. They get their first win of the season by defeating the Carolina Panthers 17-14.
Oh. All right. Well, I can see where you're coming from on this, but after last week, when I saw that number that the Panthers did on my Cowboys last week, I was just thinking, man, if they could do that to my Cowboys, they could probably do a hell of a lot more to those Jets.
Mm,
And
true.
I'm kind of leaning toward that direction. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers over those Jets 27-23.
I mean, I actually disagree with you on how you should interpret that Jets Denver game in London here because look, this game was much of a referendum on the Jets than it was the Broncos. The Broncos did not play well. Bo Nix did not play well at all. But the only reason the Broncos won in London was because they were facing the Jets. Yeah, but the stat about this game is that the Jets had more allowed more sacks than first downs gained in this game. So they allowed 9 sacks. A part of it's because Justin Fields has an awful pocket presence, and they only had 8 first downs and 82 total yards of offense. So that's saying something. And the Panthers are starting to show some life here. They've had a couple of really nice wins, really nice comfort behind victories, and now they get a Jets team that I'm not going to say it's rare that I say the Q word, but I'm going to say the Q word with this Jets team. They quit.
Mm-mm.
To me, the players quit on the coaches in week 5, and the coaches quit on the players week 6. I mean, it is just a total disaster. Love Ted McMillan in this game. Chuba Hubbard may be coming back, but still love Rico Dowdle in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a third straight 200 plus all-purpose yard type of performance like he did the last 2 weeks against Miami and Dallas. So give me the Panthers to not only win. My score is 28-17 Carolina. But with that being said, and what that means, guys, is that
Ooh, you're locking it.
yes, my lock of the week.
So you're feeling 0-17 for the Jets then?
I mean, I'm not screaming that yet, but with the way things are going. And also remember, no Garrett Wilson either. So I mean, Justin Fields doesn't have a go-to receiver as well. So yeah, I love that. This is my best bet of the week.
Yeah, I can see that. So Flynn's got the Panthers locked up this week, and we now Go to Nashville. The Tennessee Titans, with their interim head coach Mike McCoy, is at home against the New England Patriots. Patriots coming this one as 7-point favorites. And usually, whenever a person has the tag interim before the words head coach, I think 9 times out of 10, they usually don't do a good job there. I think they'll just have to have a little time to get used to the new system that the fill in is going to have. Meanwhile, Drake May is having a great season. Ramondre Stevenson is kind of pushing back up a little bit. And like I said, I like what Drake May is doing here with the Patriots. In fact, I really like what I'm seeing from the Patriots team going up against this woeful Titans team. My final score is Patriots 30, Titans 21. And this is a very good one for me. So, as far as the Patriots are concerned,
Ooh. Interesting.
that's right. I am locking the Patriots this week.
Yeah. Yeah. This one was actually the hardest one for me to decide for some reason. This game almost feels like a trap game for me. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans make an interesting run here. Interim head coach, he's probably got a little playbook plan of his own to do something. I think this new guy, he's going to make things interesting for the Patriots. I'm actually going to take the Titans here with the points, but I'm still going to give New England here the victory by a score of let's go 25 to 21.
Yeah, I'm with you, Natale. I'm gonna grab the points with the Titans. Mike McCoy is a very good football mind. He's an offensive oriented football mind. So I think to start, that's a positive for Tennessee and for Cam Ward. And look, Brian Callahan couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag. He was basically a Joe Burrow merchant. He was basically a Joe Burrow merchant in Cincinnati, and I think that played a role to me because without him he had to deal with Will Levis. He said he destroyed him in the press. I like Will Levis more than most, but I think in this game. So it's his first game since a coach got fired. So there's usually some juice going into that for the other team. But I'm gonna pick the Patriots here to win the game. I think this Mike Vrabel and Mike Vrabel revenge game. I think about how he was viewed as the fall guy for Tennessee after 2022-2023. So I was having to deal with Ryan Tannehill without AJ Brown, was just a complete shell of himself. So I do think you look at Drake May being able to have a strong day. Although I will say I would consider picking up Tyjae Spears in fantasy. He had a bigger share of the workload last week. And I think with a new coach, I feel like he's going to play a hotter hand. So Tyjae Spears is someone that you should be picking up at the very least. So I'm going to take the Patriots to win this game 24-20.
Alrighty then. So now we go to the later games, the 4:05 Eastern games that start, and we have the New York Giants going into Denver to take on the Broncos, and the Broncos are 7-point favorites here. I actually see this kind of low scoring, but it's going to be kind of close. Of course, Denver's got that very tough defense here. Giants have pretty good offense now. They got Cam Skattebo working, got Jaxson Dart throwing some good targets, but in reality, I think I'm gonna have to go with the home team, even though I do believe that the Giants will keep it close. It'll be a low scoring game, but the Giants will keep it close. I'm taking the Broncos over the Giants 21-17.
Grabbing the points. Okay. Yeah,
Right.
for on this one, yeah. Last week when I had the Giants as my lock to lose, yeah, it came to a close. I was the last person standing as far as lock of the weeks went. My streak ended, and hey, I'm glad it did. I had a good run. I lasted 6 weeks. But yeah, this victory over the Eagles is giving me some hope now for the Giants. They're looking a lot better now. Yeah, Cam Skattebo, fantastic. But I mean, I kind of hate to say it in a way, but that injury for Tyrone Tracy was basically a blessing in disguise for Cam Skattebo. So he's now the number one running back, and I think he just solidified himself as a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year if he keeps this up. Yeah, he's going to have a very solid game. I think he might get another 2-touchdown performance, but I do have the Giants coming up just a little bit short here. I'm going to take Denver, but I'm going to take Giants with the points. I'm going to go 30-27.
I'll disagree with you on the notion of Skattebo, because the Broncos defense, I would argue, is the best in football, in terms of the talent. But offensively, there's only been like one time they haven't really passed the eye test in a 60-minute span once this year. But Bo Nix has taken a big step back. The running game has not turned out the way it was supposed to, and the Broncos were on the short end of some winnable games. That they had the heartbreaking loss against Indianapolis, the heartbreaking loss against the Chargers, and the way they lost those games is crazy.
Ooh,
But
we have an upset coming. Ooh.
But it's not coming here. I'm gonna pick the Broncos. I think the defense is gonna carry them to victory. Give me the Broncos to win 19-14. So I'm gonna grab the points here with the New York Football Giants.
Oh, you got a low scoring affair here.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Okay, now we go to Los Angeles and the Chargers. They will be home against Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts, and the Chargers are 1.5-point favorites. This one was probably one of the most difficult games I had to decide for this week because I think I'm looking at two teams that are almost equal.
Oh yeah.
I mean they're in different divisions, but they're almost kind of equal a bit. I mean, Justin Herbert's having a great year. Looks like that young running back they had to fill in for Omarion Hampton because he's out right now. Najee Harris is out, so they still have a pretty good offense. But so does the Colts, Daniel Jones, and it looks like Anthony Richardson was going to have to have some surgery or something. I don't know, but the Colts are having a great year, and the Chargers are having a great year. But as an old friend of mine says, when in doubt, go with the home team. So it's going to be very close. I'll go ahead and take the Chargers over the Colts by a score of 26-23.
Yeah, this one was really tough to decide. Yeah, the Chargers running back room is a mess right now. It's hard to figure out. Yeah, you can't really figure out if it's Vidal or Haskins right now. That's the leader. Neither one of them really did anything amazing. So this was really tough. But in the end, I wanted to take the Chargers, but in the end, something told me to take the Colts because I think they look a little bit better right now. So I'm going to go with the Colts in this one, 22-20.
Yeah, I'm picking the Indianapolis Colts to win the game. And if you look at some of the grades the offensive line is putting together, like So it's like the Colts right now 1-5 have the best offensive line in football, and that's a huge thing for Daniel Jones, who basically had no offensive line in New York. Jonathan Taylor as well, and then you look at the Chargers, and their offensive line is a mess, and quite frankly, they should have lost that Miami game the way that transpired. Like, so it's like they were up by 13 points against Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins in the fourth quarter, and they needed a 42-yard pass play to a 42-yard pass play to Lad McConkey just to get them into field goal range. So I think you look at that and say you really need to play a lot better than you did. But right now, I think the team that might have the best chance to knock off the Chiefs is currently constructed. But I mean, Buffalo is a mess. Baltimore obviously is a mess. New England, I don't think is there yet. I think the team that matches up the best in the AFC against home to the Chiefs is the Indianapolis Colts, based upon how they've been. So, give me the Colts to improve to 6-1 and beat the Chargers by a score of 24-21. I thought this was the single toughest game of the week for me to pick.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow, very nice here. Very nice. Now we go to Arizona, where the Cardinals are going to be at home against the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers are picked by 6.5. And honestly, that sounds just about right. I mean, of course, for the injuries, got a few injuries on the Cardinals team. Green Bay's coming in; they have a pretty good offense, usually a very stout defense. Not really much to say about this one. I'm taking Green Bay to win and cover. Give me the Packers over the Cardinals, 30-23.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cardinals are definitely a mess right now. Yeah, Kyler Murray didn't play last week. And who knows if he's going to end up playing this week. I wouldn't consider the Packers aren't really a flashy team. They're okay. Nothing to write home about, but they're definitely the better team here. I initially didn't have this earlier, but I think I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna make the Packers I'm gonna make them my lock of the week for this week, 30-20.
Interesting.
Upset special. Give me the Arizona Cardinals to win the game. Look,
Oh my God.
Here's the thing about this game that I think you need to realize. So, do you realize the Cardinals have lost four straight by a grand total of 9 points? That is the single smallest combined margin of defeat in a 4-game losing streak in NFL history. So like the way they I knew the Cardinals were going to cover against the Colts last week because I think their defense is good, and Jacoby Brissett did enough to keep them in the game. But I still have issues with Jordan Love. I still don't trust him. Not that I would ever trust him based upon the monologues that I've done for Down Sports about Jordan Love. And the Packers didn't amaze me against Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals last week. I mean, and they frankly should have lost the Dallas game. And the Packers have not looked good really since the first 2 weeks of the season. So I think the Cardinals are due to get back into the win column. I think Jacoby Brissett gives them a better chance to win. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win this game by a score of 27-23. That's my upset special.
Oh
Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I got mine last week. I got mine last week correct. So maybe Flynn's due to get his correct.
Oh man, very very daring move right there. All right, next game is Well, it is one of the longest rivalries in NFL history. Uh, Not much of a rivalry now, but still a rivalry nonetheless. It's the Washington Commanders against my Dallas Cowboys, and the Commanders are coming in at 1.5 point favorites. Uh, I will save my comments for last. Why don't you guys start?
All right, yeah, I'll go on this one. Yeah, this one was kind of tough for me, but also kind of easy at the same time. It's one of those one. I mean, the division rivalries are always really interesting. You never know what's going to happen. But on this one, I have a feeling that Tim's Dallas Cowboys is going to get it together here. And yeah, I mean, the rookie from Washington, still a very small sample size from him. We don't know what we're going to get from him. The Cowboys, they might be slowly getting back into the thick of things. I really like the Cowboys here, especially at home. I'm going to take Tim's Dallas Cowboys to win this one. I'm going to take the spread like almost right on the nose here, 28-26. And with that, I don't know if you have the clip, Tim, but why not?
I can see that.
How about them Cowboys?
Yes.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Natale. CeeDee Lamb coming back makes it look like a gigantic deal to me.
Mhm.
And CeeDee Lamb is to me one of the top 5 receivers in the National Football League. But boy, that defense stinks. I mean, the way the Cowboys lost that game, despite what Dak Prescott and George Pickens were able to do. So I was correct on this show, but I regret switching to Carolina on Fantasy Football Fever. I'm switching to Dallas with the points on Fantasy Football Fever. That's the one thing I regret here. And Washington, even though I don't trust them, I think, as you can see, they've clearly taken a step back from where they were last year. But Terry McLaurin is also coming back this week, and I think that is a monster deal. So I think you look at that. I think you're looking at a monster game from Jacoby Krause-Mera. I think he's going to have 100 yards and a touchdown. So give me the Commanders to win this game by a score of 31-27. And in the case of you, to Timmy and your Cowboys,
I want me some glory hole.
Alrighty, looks like Tim, you're the tiebreaker here.
Well, yes, it is true. It is true. The Cowboys have one of the best offenses in the league, but their defense is absolute trash. It's just so pathetic that they let these guys run all over us, and they leave so many receivers about as open as a 7-Eleven. And it's just crazy. It's gonna be another one of those type of games here. Terry McLaurin is back, so that's another key weapon they have getting back with the Commanders. But like I said, there's a possibility CeeDee Lamb will come back to the Cowboys. So that's going to be interesting. And of course, George Pickens has had a great season so far. But I believe this will be a very close game, just like the last few. Cowboys score a lot of points on the offense, but so does the opponents. So I'm taking the Cowboys over the Commanders by a score of 30-27.
yeah, and also make sure Javonte Williams is in your lineup too, because Washington's run defense is not great.
Yeah, get Javonte Williams if he's available.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
Because I've danced with the devil, the financial devil, and lived to tell about it.
Hopefully, us Cowboys fans will live to tell about this one here. We have the Sunday night game. And a very interesting one out here as the Atlanta Falcons are taking on the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are 2.5 point favorites. And okay, I mean, I'm still shocked the way Atlanta played yesterday. I mean, I think they had very little chance. I mean, I didn't really count them out, but I didn't think they were going to win. But great game from my man, Bijan Robinson from Texas. And the way they played, I mean, it totally shocked me. And with this new injury that the 49ers have with Fred Warner, it's going to make things interesting. In fact, it's interesting enough that I think I'm going to take the Falcons to win this one. It's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be kind of hard to win over at Levi Stadium, but I think the Falcons have got a little thing going right here. Going to be a close game though, but I'm going to take the Falcons over the Niners 28-24.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm actually with you on this one, Tim. A couple of hours ago, I initially wrote down 49ers, but since then, I'm going to use one of your words here. I'm calling an audible on this one.
Ah.
Yeah. But yeah, because I somehow completely forgot about all the 49ers injuries. They're beat up on the wide receiver front, and now losing Fred Warner only makes things worse. So with that being said, I'm switching my pick to the Atlanta Falcons. With the way they demolished the Bills, they could easily do the same thing to the 49ers. If they can do it to the Bills, they can definitely do it to the 49ers too. The Bills, I think, are better than the Niners, so there you go. Give me the Falcons to win this one 24-20.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hear you guys because I know because Falcons possess a lot of talent and in theory this is the Falcons team that should make the playoffs, right? When you have Bijan Robinson, when you have Drake London, when you have the cats like that, and that was shown on Monday night against Buffalo. The problem with the Falcons, unfortunately, is that they're such an inconsistent team that I have trouble trusting them coming off games like that. So again, major coach advantage to the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan is a gem. Remember a couple weeks ago where the Niners went to LA and beat the Rams? Says, yeah, it's going to be awfully tough for the Falcons on a short week, having to go to the West Coast and play a nighttime game. It's going to be 5 p.m. in San Francisco, so the sun is going to be up for the first half of that game. But boy, I have some trust issues with this Falcons team. So give me the 49ers to win this game. I don't feel great about it, but I'll take the Niners to win and cover 24-20.
Interesting right there. All right, now, yeah, folks, we have another Monday Night Football doubleheader.
This time, one game at 7 p.m. Eastern and another starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. So it's going to go all the way into the wee hours into 1 a.m. on next week.
And that first game is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions come in this game at 5.5-point favorites. Yeah, Tampa Bay is a little banged up on their receiving core. Bucky Irving, of course, is kind of banged up as well. I believe that the Lions will take advantage of that. And they'll just barely, but Tampa Bay will barely cover the spread. I've got the Lions winning this one 28-23.
Yeah, like you said, the Bucs are definitely banged up on the wide receiver front. But somehow, I think Baker Mayfield is going to make things work. Not make things work in terms of a win, but I think he's going to make things work in terms of keeping it super close. Somehow I do think I like the Bucs with the points here for some reason. I don't know why. Despite they're banged up, Mayfield is working some magic. He is having an MVP caliber season right now. It's going to be close, but I have the Lions pulling it off. I'm going to go by a single point, 28-27.
Oh,
Yeah, I hear you guys, but I'm gonna take the Lions. I just think that just think after the way they got spanked against the Chiefs in prime time, I thought that said more about the Chiefs than it said about the Lions. Now Brian Branch suspension doesn't help. So that's the starting secondary is losing a big piece for this one. Could be a big matchup in terms of how what the Saints are like when the wheels stop spinning. But I'm not overthinking this. I'm gonna lay the 5.5 and take the Lions to win. But I would caution you about Jahmyr Gibbs in this spot, but man, I'm thinking big game, big game from Amon St. Brown, big game from Jameson Williams. I think Sam Laporta is going to score a touchdown in this one. Give me the Lions to bounce back and win 28-20.
You're both taking them outright.
To win and cover.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Both of you are taking them outright. I'm taking the coverage.
okay. All right. And the last game on the schedule, the second game of the Monday doubleheader, we have the Houston Texans going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. The Seahawks in this game are picked by 3.5. As I always say, sometimes it's very difficult to win a game.
Seattle is favored by 3.5 points. Yes.
Okay, yeah. And it's usually difficult for teams to win up there in the great Pacific Northwest. And Texans is going to be taking a long trip up there. Texans are a little shaky. I'm thinking that the Colts may end up being the number one team in the AFC South, while Seattle could quietly take the NFC West if they keep playing the way they do. I am going to take Seattle to win and cover. Give me the Seahawks over the Texans 26-16.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Yeah, the Seahawks are playing pretty well. Yeah, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, he looks fantastic. I mean, Sam Darnold has been meh as quarterback, but at least he has options to help guide him. And then on the other side, the Texans are one of those teams that will probably win the division, but have a shitty record. They'll probably win the division with like an 8-9 like type of season. That's the way I'm seeing it. So yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this one. I'll go 26-22.
I will say with that last comment about the division, it's going to take more than 8 or 9 wins to win this division based upon the success of the Indianapolis Colts. So, so that's an issue there. But in this game, I'm going to grab the points with the Houston Texans. And look, the Texans are coming off a bye week. They're playing on the Monday night after a bye week. And if you watch the last 2 games, I know they were against the Titans and the Ravens. They only gave up 10 points in those 2 games. So yeah, the Texans defense is still really good, and D'Amico Ryans is a tremendous mind for that defense. So yeah, I think the Texans are going to be in this game, but I'm going to pick Seattle to win 20-17.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting right there. So, yeah, that's basically how we're looking at things for the NFL coming in Week 7, which of course starts 2 nights from now.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of now, it's time to see if any of y'all were able to think about the answers to the questions that we gave here. So we started with the tally. So Natale,
Yep.
go.
All right. All right. So like I said before, as we know from Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs did not have a single penalty. So I took my trivia question, put a reversal spin on it. My original question was going to be which team had the most penalties in a single game. That was my initial one, and that answer would have been the Raiders. I think they had 23 penalties, and I think it was 2016, I believe. But my actual question is going to be this: which NFL team holds the record for most penalty yardage in a single season? Most penalty yards.
Well, most penalty yards in a season.
Yep.
I think there
Oh,
was
sorry,
one
single game rather.
season
Single game. That's what I meant to say.
in a single game. Oh yeah, okay. Most penalty yards in a single game. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I remember the Cowboys really racked up a lot of penalties and a lot of penalty yards in one game. I think it was a few years ago. I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I'm going to say Dallas Cowboys.
All right, you're going with the Cowboys. All right. All right. What do you say, Flynn?
I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears.
Let's see.
I don't know, but I think that sometimes the Bears are undisciplined, so I'm gonna roll with
True.
All
That's
right.
true.
Strangely enough, neither one of you guys' answers are in the top 25.
that.
Oh, really? So I guess for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here on Stat News. Neither one of those teams are listed on the top 25.
Good God.
The answer we were looking for to this one was the Tennessee Titans. This occurred on October 10th, 1999, where they had 212 penalty yards against the Ravens. And they won that game 14-11.
Yeah, and they went to
my
the Super Bowl that year. With Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher, yeah. Of course, that Super Bowl is when they were 1 yard short.
All right, so who went second? Was it Tim or was it Flynn?
I think it was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to yours then.
So I got to repost this question up here.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson has 822 yards of scrimmage through his team's first 5 games. We're the only 2 players since 1970 with more, and one of those 2 players did it twice.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I do have a feeling on one of them. One of them feels super obvious, but also too obvious. It's either so obvious that it's right or so obvious that it's wrong. My guess of the current player is going to be Christian McCaffrey, and on the other side, I'm going to go in the past. I'm going to go with the late great Walter Payton.
So you're going to go with Christian McCaffrey and Walter Payton. What says you, Tim?
Well, those are very interesting answers, but the first ones that I thought of 2 guys who are both in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 2 great running backs. I'm going to say my guesses are O.J. Simpson and Barry Sanders.
Oh, I was considering Barry Sanders. Interesting.
Okay, so you went with Barry Sanders and O.J. Simpson, then you went with Christian McCaffrey and then Walter Payton. So I will tell you right now, each one of you came up with half of the answer. So,
wow.
So Natale correctly guessed Christian McCaffrey. He did that in 2019, and the other player the other player too that this guy did twice was Orenthal James Simpson. See, he did it twice. One in his 2000, I believe his 2,000-yard season in '73, and then he did it again in '75.
So the answers are O.J. Simpson and Christian McCaffrey.
Correct.
Well, I guess together Tim and I sort of got it right.
Yes,
We both worked together, kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Flynn.
Good job, Tim. Yeah, we got it right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, you can credit us for half of one, So.
Yeah, it's and also and here's a bonus question. Do you know who was so Christian McCaffrey was first with 866. O.J. Simpson in 1973, 861. O.J. Simpson 75, 842. Bijan Robinson 822. And now here's a bonus question: who is 5th on the list?
5th on the list.
Jim Brown.
Based on this,
So it wouldn't be Jim Brown because it was before. Because it was before 1970. But I'll say this so we can move on to the next question. So my all-time favorite player Tiki Barber.
Ah,
817 and 817 rushing yard to all-purpose yards in 2004. So
All right. So, all right. It's interesting how that worked out for us right there. So, anyway, my question is I was referring to the fact that the Cowboys gave up over 400 all purpose yards in the game against Carolina last week. So, the question is what team holds the NFL record for allowing the most all purpose yards in a single season?
For some reason, I'm just going to say the Cleveland Browns because Cleveland Browns do Cleveland Brown things.
I mean, I feel like because you said cumulative, I have to go with the 17-game season thing. So, I mean, the Panthers' defense was historically bad last year, so I'm going to go with the Panthers.
You could be right about that. It's possible.
Okay, so John Flynn said the Carolina Panthers.
All right, it's all up to me.
Okay, and John Natale said the Cleveland Browns.
Come on, give it to me.
Well, you guys are not going to believe this. It didn't happen too long ago. It was 2012, and it was the 2012 New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
That's right. The Saints gave up 4,875 passing yards and 2,361 rushing yards for a total of 7,042 all-purpose yards given up in one season.
Also, remember, that was the year where both Sean Payton and defensive coordinator Greg Williams were banned for a year because of the Bounty Gate scandal.
The Bounty Gate, yes.
So before we go off the air, we were talking about this earlier. Flynn, you ready to make a deal?
All right. So, tell me what you got.
Well, let's see. Well, I'm not sure. Well, I already told you who's off the table for my running backs. Well, actually, let's answer this question first. You wouldn't start any of the Bucs receivers over Pittman this week, right? Oh, yeah, I would say, yeah. Nope. I would definitely start Pittman over any Bucs receiver right now.
Right.
Yep.
Actually, I got to go to... let me see here.
Yeah, we got another question while you guys are trying to figure that out. Marcus Soto, a 5-1 full PPR 12-man league, quarterback Drake May and Jordan Love. His running backs are Bucky Irving, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, and Woody. Wide receivers, JSN, Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, Rashid Shaheed, and tight ends are George Kittle, Fannin, trade ideas. I think Kittle's on the IR if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I think Kittle is supposed to be coming back this week.
Okay,
Let's see.
Bucky Irving. I know Bucky Irving's banged up. JSN, hold on to JSN. Hold on to him.
It definitely depends on what your needs are. What is he looking for?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I feel it's pretty good, but I think if you're not sure about Kittle, I feel good about your running back depth, and maybe you can spend some of it for an extra tight end. So.
Okay,
so, but if not, I would just keep the team the way it is.
Yeah, I would too. So. Yeah, so that's pretty much it right there.
Alrighty, so let's see. Back to business here. Well, I basically said to Flynn that all my running backs, I'm going to offer all my running backs, any running back with the exception to Genti. So I'm trying to figure out who who's off the table as far as Flynn's wide receivers go. I'm assuming Nico Collins is off the table. I'm guessing.
I think the only way I would move Nico Collins is if you would move Ashton Genty.
Yeah, well, I knew that. I know that's not happening. I figured Collins was off the table already. So
yeah.
Wilson. I mean, I have no interest in Wilson because the Jets suck.
And Garrett Wilson's not playing this week.
True. Yeah, let's say. I mean, Addison, I'd be willing to entertain. Scary Terry, I would be willing to entertain. And Olave, I'd be willing to entertain. I mean, it depends if you're willing to offer McLaurin, Olave, or Anderson, if any of them are on the table.
All right. It's as far as I'm concerned, I want to see what you're thinking of Jalen Warren. So because
I'm willing to offer him. He's definitely on the table.
Okay, Jordan Addison for Jalen Warren.
Jordan Addison for Jalen Warren. Ooh, that's a tough one. Addison. Ooh. I mean, my preference would be Scary Terry, but I'm okay with Addison, I guess.
All right, want to do it?
All right, let's do it. I'll send the proposal. I'm logged in. I'm logged into the app. So
I have the app. I have the app.
No, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Send the proposal, and I'll accept it either now or sometime in the morning.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, I think we have just witnessed fantasy football fever history right here.
I think you would be correct here.
The very first time that a trade has come down between our two participants here live on this show.
Okay.
I might have to.
So you people may want to preserve this moment in history.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for.
We'll just have to see how this all works out in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if I get a notification or not. I don't think.
No, I still want. There's a way to do this on the app, and there's a way not to. So,
I see.
Next, Jordan Addison.
So I guess we're just waiting for.
Okay. So tell me if you get a notification.
Let's see. Let me refresh the page. I'm on my laptop here. I might just have to hit the refresh button and see.
Just waiting for the verification to see if this goes down.
Trade processed.
I'm sure everyone out there is.
I might have to check my email. I don't see it on the website, so I just might have to do it on my phone. We'll probably have to do that off air though. We'll find out though. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. A trade proposal. And here it is. Yeah. Would trade Jalen Warren. I would give up Jordan Addison. All right. Time to review the offer. Let's see. And there it is. Accept the trade, and the accept button has been pressed. Oh, I entered my password to continue.
the beauty of Disney Plus.
Yeah, the trade has been accepted successfully. We are in. Pleasure doing business with you. We both got what we needed.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
I needed a wide receiver. You needed a running back.
History has been made.
Yeah, Warren should be useful for you. I didn't use him. I haven't used Warren once, so he's all yours now.
Yeah, and I think I only used Addison once since he came back from the suspension. So,
well, there we go. You got your wide receiver. You got your running back depth you needed. You gave me wide receiver depth that I needed.
Yeah.
And then and should my waiver request go through, I'll have another wide receiver.
All right. So let's.
Because I dropped the Jaguars defense because I didn't want to risk losing the Vikings defense. Yeah. That's why I had two defenses. Yeah. The Vikings defense has actually been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Vikings this week because of their defense and who Brian Flores is, and the matchup going up against Jalen Hurts, who suddenly can't complete the forward pass these days. So
Yeah. I'll push the claim into process right away once we get off the air here.
Yep.
Normally it's 2 days, but I could process it right away, make it effective immediately.
Yep.
Well, we just had a history making moment here on the show, and
Yeah.
no better way to end this very interesting episode of Fantasy Football
We
Fever.
actually did this too on draft night. I had a trade with Alex.
Oh
Oh
yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Oh
buddy,
yeah,
I
there's a
haven't
trade
used
with
him
Alex.
yet either. I haven't used Montgomery once.
Wow. Anyway, y'all be sure to listen to Hooked on Sports with John Flynn on Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and anywhere you get your podcasts. And also remember, you can watch Hooked on Sports on John Flynn's YouTube channel. There it is right there. Of course, tomorrow night is Painted Game Pick'ems with myself, Alex, and Lucas, 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the A Pistol 90 channel. And we'll be back next week, 7 nights from now, to recap week 7, look ahead to week 8. Oh my gosh, we are almost halfway through this season already. I mean, it's a crazy thing about the NFL season.
Oh yeah.
So great show, guys. I hope this trade works out for both of you guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so made a little history again. Had the trade during draft night, and of course we have the trade now. So yeah, that's going to do it for this show. So want to thank all you guys for watching us. Be sure to catch Hotel Sports, of course, Painted Game Pick'ems, and of course, like I said, we'll be back next week at the same time, same place. So until then, for John Flynn, for the John Natale, my name is Tim McClelland. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy week 6. Enjoy week 7, everybody. See you back here next Tuesday night. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.